this is a new one that some of you may be interested in. At the moment, I find it has a significant limitation, but I want to show it to you anyway. So it's a new external module called Yale Second Language Extension. You can view the documentation. It's pretty thorough and worth digging into to learn more about it. But I'll try to demonstrate this as best I can because I configured this also about a month ago. So the configuration option is what language, and this is in play. This is not something you do in addition to the multilingual module, which is a little bit more comprehensive. But this is quick down and dirty sort of thing. You define the language that you want to add to your data collection instrument. So I've added Spanish. Now, when I go to my designer, when I open my instrument, I have an option when I open a box that another box below it opens up and you just add the Spanish for that. So for example, here where there's multiple options, let's start with this one with gender. Okay, so there's a field label, there's choices, and then you work with it just the way you do normally. You just have an added box here that lets you add male and female for Spanish. Same with, check boxes. Once you open this up, you have a label for Spanish, and then you add your Spanish translations here. I haven't really done all the translations or anything like that, but I just wanted to make sure that you see it's here. So now when you open up your record status dashboard and you want to add a new record, you open up your screening form, you're going to see there are two new squares like here up at the top. There is something called primary. And as far as I can see, you can't define that primary. Primary is whatever the standard language is for your REDCap instance. So for us, it's English, but it's not going to read English. It's going to show primary. And the other is Spanish. So now you just manage it here. And if you click on Spanish, you see it changes the language to Spanish, and you can go back and forth here. You don't have to set the language, and I set this up so I could show you something else. Normally with the multilingual option in your designer, in your instrument, you create a field called languages or whatever you decide to match the multilingual external module field link. So usually it's languages, but I just called this languages. I could have called it Goober for all it matters. But what I did do is I used an action tag called @language, which is the module's way of connecting to what you select here. So whatever you select here is what's going to show up in this box. I made it read only, so nobody try and change it. But I think that you can actually set automatically. I think that, let's just see, we have a minute or two. I'm going to take that off, see if I can change it here. I don't think this will let me change the language through the text box, but I'll see. So actually it does. It does change it. So you can change it here. I don't know why you would. The only value of this field here, I thought, was so that you can track as a field what what language somebody chose. Make sure I called that right. Yep. Okay, so now when somebody makes this selection, it will save that in as a field, and you can reference it, pull it out, and see what language they completed their form in. So, you know, that's a nice little addition here. Now, the downside that I found, I'm going to test this again. I'm going to save this real quick just so I have something in here. So now that I have it, I'm going to go to my project setup, and I've got it set up as a survey already. So if I go to my survey distribution tools and open my public survey, notice that it does not show up in the survey, and you couldn't set this. I don't think this would make any sense unless I made it a drop down or something, but well, now that I say that, I never thought of that before. So let me see if I set it up as a drop down. Let's see. Been nice if I would have played with this beforehand, but I never thought of this. So let's say that this is at language, but it's a, let's just say it's a drop down list. And I say, I'm going to say English. See how that, no, I got to say primary. All right. I may need to change this, but let's just see. Oh, phooey. Got to get the read only off of that. All right. Let me go to my record status dashboard and just open something up. Okay, that doesn't change anything. And then one last test here. Let me just make sure I made this primary and this Spanish. That work. Okay, status dashboard. All right. Okay, so that works, but this is disconnected. It won't work. So to go back to my original explanation, I found that if I open up the public survey, there's no option here for English and Spanish. So it only works in the data entry mode. So I'm not sure if that they plan on expanding that capacity, but I will keep you updated. But if you are looking for a quick and easy way to turn an instrument into multiple languages, it really is nice and quick. So it's out there if you want to use it. Any questions?